Hi guys, today we are going to study statements in JavaScript, and the simplest statement is the symbol. Yes, this is a statement which said that there is a end of some statement. I can put there as many as you want to, like this, and this is all is statements. This is a statement of empty statement. We can say that, yeah. A little bit later I show you how we can use this statement. So the next statement is this. We can use braces. And this is also a statement. Usually if uses with if statement, we will talk about it little later. But this is also a statement. It can use with if, with while, with many loops. I will show you them. But you should know that this is also a statement. It helps us to group a couple of statements together like this. So now it's a group of statements. Yeah. And usually we can use with other statements, for example, if. If looks like this. Yeah, so this is if statement. Usually we use it to check if something is true or something is false. For example, you get some variable which is age, and some person enter his age. You should know if you can show him this, let's say, some restriction. You need to know if person is greater than 18 years old. So you can check it like this: age greater than 18. And if it's true, you will show him this restriction. Yeah, like this. If he is less, let's say 16 years old, you will show him. You will not show him this. Yeah. So for this purpose, we can use this operator if. This operator can be used without this statement like this. Yeah, it works the same way. But you should know next thing that it works only for the first operator after if, like this. So the second will work. And sometimes it can be a little bit strange, because it could be used with else. Else, I will show you right now. There is operator else that are using with if. We can make it like this. So if person is 16 years old, we show him some other data. If he is older, like 22, we will show him restricted data. Yeah. So else works with if, and it's additional statement that we can do something if something is false, something like this. And as I said, sometimes it's difficult to read code like this. So for example, if something is true and then another if which is false, and then we have console log which is test. Then we have else which is console log. So how does it work, and will we see Let's find out. And yes, we will see why. Because this else, it's not for this if, it's else for this if. So actually it works like this. Yeah, and sometimes if you write it wrong, people don't understand it's hard to read and understand to which if this else comes. So it's always better to use braces like this. you should always use them, and it will be much readable. You always know where else is coming to. Yeah, like this we always know that this true is single and this for this if has else. So let's go next. Also this else can be come with if also, so I can write like this: if, let's say, false. So if well, I can write something like this: age, let's say, greater than 3. So if person 22, he will see this section. If he, let's say, 5 years old, he will see some other data. If he's 2 years old, he will see nothing. And of course I can add some more this else if, like this. Let's say false, and here we can add some true. Yeah, like this. So you see AAA, cause we go there, so we check if it's great age greater than 18, age greater than 3, then we have some additional check which was false, and then we additional check returns true, and we have this. Also we can have else additional, like this. Console log, or even else. And here we have AA, but if I return here false, we will have else. So that's the way how if then else works. Well, it's if else. But it's code, it's hard to read, probably it's a lot of else if. So if you have such situation where there is a lot of cases, you can use operator switch. It looks like this: switch, and let's say we have some variable and we want to check this variable. We can make it like this: case n equal 1. We will do next. In case 2, we will log 2. Case 3, we will log 3. Case 4, we will log 4. And when we run it, we get 3. So what happened? Actually, the switch gets this variable n, and I check which it equals to. So if it equals 1, we run this code. If it equals 2, we run this code. If it equals 3, we run this. If 4, we run this. Also, there could be a default value. So default console log default. And if you run, it works the same. But for example, if n equals to 6 and there is no case for 6, it always will run default if no case run. Also, default can be anywhere. For example, it can be here. And as you see, well, we will need a break here. As you see, it runs default, and then it breaks, and we run this code. So default can be anywhere, but if it's 3, so it will run 3. So default runs only if no other cases was run. And also we can we can delete these breaks, and it will be work interesting. Because in this case, if for example we put it 3 and run it, it check for 1, check for 2, check for 3, and it equals 3. So then it console log, and then it begin to run all other statements if it doesn't have break. So break, it's like exit from this switch. If we don't run switch, it will run all others statements below, like console log default, console log 4, as you see from here. Yeah, so this is the way how switch works. And now we will talk about loops. And the first loop that we are going to study is a while loop. So it looks like this. We can create variable I, it equals, let's say, 1, and we can create loop while. Here we can add some statement like console log. So how does it work? It works while here will be true. For example, if I write just true, it will loop always. So while here true, it will loop and it will run and run and run this statement. But we don't want to run always. We just want to make it couple times. Let's say while e less than 5. And also we can write like e++. So as you see, it's console log 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's console log I. On each loop, on each iteration, it add 1 to our I variable, and we check always if I less than 5, yes, true, less than 5, true. So on each iteration, but when I became 5, here became false, so statements doesn't go anywhere. Also we can make it like this. If I less or equal to 5, then there will be one more iteration. So that's the way how while works. Also we have a loop do while. It works like this. As you see here, false, so it should not run any statement. But the main statement, main difference between while and do while is that do while runs at least once. So if I run this code, I at least once run this code and will get console log do while, even if here false. But if here would be true, it will run again. So this is the main difference between while and do while. Next what I want to show you is for loop. It's looks like this. Let's say for j equal, let's say, 1, while j less than 5, j++, console log j. So it works the same as while, only it has difference. When we create this variable, we can put it here. We can put all defined variables here in the for in the first statement. And also we have this check like I less than 5, so we can put it like here. It's the same, so while here would be true, this loop will continue. And also we have this plus plus operator. So for loop puts I plus plus operators like here. And so it's more readable, and in while all we want to do is console log, but we write a lot of code. We create variable, we make it, we check if variable is at something, we add everything, but we want to just write a code like console log. So in for statement it's more readable because all main code comes here in body of this loop, and all statements that work on looping and check all data and using this data, they are go here in the header of this for loop. Yeah. Also, we need to know how all this works, and of course we can make it like this. We can make variable j here, and here we can make it empty statement like this, so works the same. Also I can move this j++ here, and it still works the same. So these two operators, they're optional. Also this optional too, I can move it, but it will run forever, so it's the same as I write here true. You can try it home if you want to. So the next thing, actually I can write here a lot of variables like j, like say k equal to, don't know, 1. Here I can write like j++, k++. Here when I checking, I can also check a lot of statements, for example j less than 5, k less than 5, and it works the same way. So here I can define a lot of variables. Here I can iterate a lot of variables, and also I can even, let's make it like this. I will show you. I can write here console log before. Like this. As you see, before everything, this statement will run before we loop. And here here I have statement which run after the body. So when we console log this, when we add this, then console log and will run. So that's the way how it works, how our for statements works. Yeah, you should know that and know how to work with it. So the next one. There is a special kind of for which helps to iterate through arrays. We didn't work with arrays yet, but we will. So I can create array like this, and array it's a list of data of some information, for example like numbers or some strings, letters like a, 1, 2, undefined, 0, something like this. So I create this array and I want to iterate it. So I have special for which works like this. I can create var element, which should be in my array. And now I can iterate it. So if I console log by element, so when I create this array, it has like indexes. So first data will be by index 0, second by index 1, third by index 2, fourth by index 3, and etc. So this is an index. So if I run this, I will get index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. To get the actual element, I can make it like this. Well, don't worry if you don't understand it. We will talk about arrays in the future. But for now, you just need to know that there is a for loop which can iterate through arrays. That's all. We'll work with arrays later. So now, as you see, I can iterate it like this. With this, if I write like this, it will show me all elements in my array, like a, 1, 2, undefined, and 0. Yeah, so that's the way to iterate through array. Also, I can iterate through object. Let's say create some object which have a5, b7, and something like this. Doesn't matter. I want to iterate it, so I can iterate through object. And here I can have object. And as you see, I can have 5 and 6, though this is values of my variables, which includes this object like a and b. Yeah, so for loop helps us to iterate through arrays and objects. That's what you should know for now. We will work with objects and arrays later. And also, okay, let's make some while true. So this loop will work always, because it's always true. But what if I want to end this loop? I can use statement break like this, and it all work like this. So everything that goes after break don't run. So for example, 2 will not log, as you see. So statement break works like this. Also, there is a statement continue. Continue differs from break in the next way. Continue will go to the next iteration, and break just ends this loop. What does it mean? It means that break, if I run now continue, it will just begin to enter. So it's like looping all the time. Continue goes always here on while. Yeah, let's stop it. So that's how we can use continue and break. But there is situation when we have loop in loop. For example, we have one loop which is true and another which is true. And let's say I want to exit console log some data and I want to break. So the problem with this with it, because I will break, but I will break from the first while. But what if I want to break the parent, the main while? I can use labels. Labels, it works like this. Label 1, it means it's just label my while. it should be goes just before while, and if there are some statement between them like this, I will have some exception. Hey guys, what happened? Well, I need to make it like here, like this. I need to make this label a label. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I need to make it here, and if between there some statement, it will not work. I will get exception. But if I delete it, everything works fine. So here I have some label. It goes before main while, and I can break from this while. I can tell I want to break this one. Also, I can have a lot of labels like label 2, and if I want to break from this while or from this to show which while I want to break, I can use this label. And it works the same as you see. So same you can use with continue. It will continue the same, it will work with this label, but it will go there, and I will again have loop which runs forever. Yeah. So let's go to the next example. Next statement that I want to show you is with statement. To understand how it works, we should use object. And for example, if we have object A, which contains inner object B, which contains inner object C, which contains object with D, let's say 5, let's say 6, and F, let's say 7. So I have some object which contains other objects. To write values, I need to use very big syntax. For example, console log a obj a b c d. Same for others like E and F. So it works, but there is a lot of code. To make it less, I can use with statement, where I can write obj a b c, and here all variables, all values that we have in our object will become local object. So I will have local variable D, I will have local variable E and F. So sometimes it's very useful. Also, I can change the value of this variable. So for example, if I write D equal 8, and then I want to get the value, I will get 8, as you see. Also, you can try to make something like this, var inner obj equal obj abc, and then you console log inner obj d e and f. Yeah, it works the same way as this with. So you can use or with statement or things like this. Yeah, and that's almost all. I just want to show you the last thing. It's a debug statement. So actually we can debug our code, and we can debug like this. We can go to source and here I can add some debug breakpoints. And if I rerun this code, I will stop here, and here I can watch values of my variables. Like this, I can put it just under some variable and see value which it has, like this. The main purpose, let's say you have some trouble, you always get in some error, you don't know why, and you need to see why. So you can break your code like this, and when you stop here, you can see all values. And for example, you can have divide 0 by 0, and it can become some problem in your code, and you don't know why it happens, which variable has 0, and you can stop and just look. So you can stop by yourself as you want to, anywhere where you want to, and after that you can just go well, as you see now in console nothing, but I can go step by step. For this I can use F9 or press this letter, and as you see it goes on line 6, and I can go to the next line, and each statement when it runs it also happens, so I get in some information in my console. So when I run F9, it goes to the next step, and in console prints 7. I can go to the next step. As you see, it jumps, and it works also in console. I have some data here. So that's the way how I can debug my JavaScript code like this. And I can resume the script, and it goes to the end. But also I can use debug statement. And as you see, I don't have no breakpoints, but if I run the script, sorry, debugger. Yes, sorry. Yeah, like this. So if I use debugger statement, it will stop here. So I can write debugger in code. Well, usually we write it like if some statement, then debugger, and then it stops. It stops here, and then I can see all my variables. I can see what's here I have, what I have here. I can go step by step to see what's happening in my code. I can see my console, and in console I can write something like obj A, B, C, D, and to see what does it mean or do something with it. And then I can just resume my code and see everything what happened here. So debugger is really useful sometimes for debug statement. Well, that's all statements, the most common statements that we are usually use. It's like if statement, switch statement, all 4 statements. I told you about them, with statement, and debugger. It's not so many statements. And this is the main statement that we are usually use in JavaScript. That's all for today. I hope you like this lesson, and have a nice day. Bye.